It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, July 9th. We are chugging through the week, trucking? We're trucking through the week. We're getting through the week. It is really honestly the dog days of summer. That's what it feels like right now. It feels very, very mellow and warm and lazy, but also like productive. I am having a summer of reading. I'm enjoying all the books I'm reading. I'll talk to you guys all about that later this week on Patreon. We have so much to discuss, shockingly, on a day where I thought once again it would be kind of a slow day, but there's always something good to talk about here. Reminder, a little homework Wednesday, tomorrow, June 10th, July 10th, July 10th, tomorrow, we will have our members only, where we're going to go deep and hard into the stories that you can't talk about on the public show, but you guys deserve all the gossip and the tea. So we'll get in there. Make sure to become a member. I put the link in the show notes if you're interested. And that episode, you can join live, of course. And then you can always watch the replay. On today's show, we've got a lot to talk about. Julia Fox is a lesbian. Gypsy Rose is pregnant. Lindsay Hubbard's boyfriend is apparently revealed. I have a prediction for next season, if there will be, of Vanderpump Rules. Got a little making the team. I'm sorry, not making the team dance. America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. A sad update and more always more on today's Daily Dose of Donna. All the new subscriptions, all the new subscribers, welcome in. I am so excited that we finally hit 15.3 thousand subscribers on the show. That's a big deal for my YouTube world. It is. And the podcast numbers are doing well. You guys, I can't tell you how important it is that you consistently listen, watch, like, subscribe, give it a review. These are all things I need to do to keep the show moving forward. I got my girl Valerie in the comments. My real life bestie is here to support me on YouTube. That never happens. Why? Why, Valerie? Why have you not been here earlier? You guys, we have so much to talk about. We have to get into all of it. Today is, as Danny says, a fun grab bag of topics. I feel like we have one of those, buckets or hats or whatever, and we're just shaking and like closing our eyes and just grabbing something and be like, oh, we can talk about this today. We're also going to talk about Love Island. You guys, I am in such a Love Island. Like, I have a problem. I have a problem because my life is like pre-Love Island, post-Love Island. And even every day, right? Even every single day in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do until Love Island tonight? I like the show so much that I'm concerned about what's going to happen when it's over. Like, when does it end and what happens? What happens when Love Island ends? Like, how do we go back? How do we go back to just normal life? Listen, we've gone through hard things together, and as Glennon Doyle said, we can do hard things. So we will do it all. We'll do it all together. Let's get into the first story of the day, and let's just get through these like just like a little one and done, little hot topics. Gypsy Rose is pregnant. Did you hear that? Now, you guys, I have to admit something. This may make you not like me. I have never been a huge Gypsy Rose follower. Like, I am not the person that knows the story that well. I know the general, like the zoomed out story, but I don't know what the actual story, like details of the Gypsy Rose story is. It's just one of those things that I kind of fast forwarded through in my like personal pop culture life. And so because of that, I don't really care that much, but I know a lot of you guys care. And I'm here for the people. I'm here for the dosers. I don't work for myself. I work for you. So we're talking about Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose is pregnant. She is expecting her first baby with her boyfriend, Ken Urker. I hope I'm saying that right. Maybe it's Ken Urkel. Haha. No, Ken Urker. But the problem is, according to Michelle, yes, she is still married. She's still married to her ex-husband. You guys, it feels like a TLC show. It feels like a, 90 Day Fiance situation. Like, it doesn't feel clean. You know what I mean? It feels teen mommy. But yes, she's expecting her first baby with Ken Urker after their reconciliation. This is her ex-fiance, and they're expecting their first child in January 2025. And I'm just wondering, are Gypsy Rose and Lindsay Hubbard having a joint baby shower? I would like to know that. Like, is Lindsay pissed? Knowing Lindsay, she's probably pissed at Gypsy right now for stealing her baby thunder. I'm just going to put it out there. I really do believe that, Lindsay thought she had she had cornered the pregnancy market for the week of, she booked it out. She booked it out. She has been confirming the rumors that have been flying around for quite some time now. Just lots of kissing photos. She's 11 weeks along. Before describing the sleepiness and craving she has experienced at 11 weeks, the Life After Lockup star confessed that her unexpected pregnancy was not planned at all. It's weird. Like, when you choose to have sex without a condom, sometimes it's just like you don't plan it, but that's kind of how things happen. However, she clarified that she and her partner are excited to become parents. She praised Urker for being very gracious and very forgiving as she deals with crazy mood swings. Okay. Cool. She's still in the middle of divorcing Ryan Anderson. They separated in March, right after she got out of jail on a second-degree murder charge for her abusive mother, Claudine Dee Blanchard's 2015 death. She was engaged to Urker in 2018 to 19 while she was behind bars. Oh, guys, it's just too much. I'm feeling like I need a shower. Can we move on? Let's move on to someone else that gives me a little bit of a little EBGBs, and that's Julia Fox. We're just getting through these stories. Okay. This is the 1, 2, 3, get through the stories. Julia Fox is allegedly a lesbian. She posted a TikTok, I believe, that she kind of stitched with someone else who had said, like, don't you find it's really weird when you see a lesbian with their boyfriend, something like that? And then Julia Fox was like, yep, that was me. Sorry, boys. So apparently Kanye, this is allegedly Kanye West turns women into lesbians. This is alleged. Okay? It's alleged. But Julia Fox is a lesbian. So women that like it, the lady pond, open up, baby. You never know. You never know if you can end up with a fox. And then the third story that I thought was quite interesting for a little quick bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, was the Alec Baldwin story. Now, we have talked about this story a little bit when Alec Baldwin's the armorer, Hannah, from the movie Rust, was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Right now, they're going through the jury selection for Alec Baldwin's trial. He has an upcoming trial for being involved with the untimely and awful accidental death of the DP from the movie Rust. And actually, Alec Baldwin was holding the gun, not knowingly, obviously, that there were real bullets, that this was a real gun in that moment. Now, that being said, this is pretty crazy. Everyone that I had talked to about this case was saying, what's going to happen here is that he is maybe not going to be charged in any way as being, connected to the actual intentional or accidental death, because he was just given a prop and did his job without knowing any details. However, he's a producer on a film. And when you're a producer, you're immediately liable for anything that goes on that set. But today, or maybe yesterday, I don't know, this article came out today that Baldwin's lawyers scored a victory on the first day of arguments in this case in the jury selection. And basically, the victory is that they are essentially convincing the judge that Baldwin's role as a producer on the project is irrelevant and therefore cannot be entered as evidence. That is absolutely wild and probably Alec Baldwin's ticket to freedom in this case. Because if he had been considered a producer in addition to the person that actually, pulled the trigger, I think it was a pretty obvious guilty charge, in my opinion. But now, because they've taken out the idea of him being a producer on the film as being relevant or even part of the lawsuit, or part of the crime in any way, now he's just essentially his defense is essentially, I was just given a prop and I used it as we had done in rehearsals, having no information, having no idea that this gun was loaded and was an actual, not a toy prop gun. Obviously the lawyers have tried to have the case thrown out. It hasn't been thrown out, but because of this, I think it's positive for him. Jury selection begins today with opening arguments expected tomorrow, and the case in New Mexico due to last around 10 days. When proceedings begin, there will be more security there than usual. I am sure certain people are going to be out there covering it. I would imagine Emily D. Baker will be covering it, but it's actually really this is going to give me a feeling, and maybe you guys agree with me. Alec Baldwin is the name that is associated with this movie. When I say the name, I mean the A-list name associated with Rust. Yes, we hear the name of the armorer who went into jail, and we hear the name of the unfortunate victim of this murder, which was, Helena Hutchins, the DP, cinematographer. But Alec Baldwin is the famous name attached to this movie. And sadly, I do believe he's going to get off in a much easier way now, especially because he's being kind of separated as a producer on the film. It's really, really unfortunate. The whole thing is unfortunate. The fact that you're fighting for your innocence or fighting to lessen your sentence, when you're talking about the fact that a mother, a woman, a wife, someone was killed. It's just an awful, awful tragedy. That reminds me, we'll continue to follow this as the weeks progress and as the trial progresses, because this one I'm really, really interested. Now, oh wow, this is interesting, and I didn't see this part. Lisa said was even more shocking is that they're not allowing into evidence the letter that the crew wrote when they quit the night before the murder, saying the set was unsafe. Yeah, like why? This is all a huge part of this thing. Now, does that have anything to do with Alec Baldwin? I want to talk for 2 seconds just about this. I don't know specifically Alec Baldwin's role as a producer on this film. We've talked about this kind of briefly before. But I will say that in general, producers, there can be like 10, 20, 30 producers on a film, right? You don't only have 1 or 2 producers. Some films, some TV shows just have a very small crew, but a lot of them have so many. And if you watch the credits on any movie, TV show, reality show, any show, you'll see that there's multiple producers. And usually when it comes to scripted projects, so scripted TV shows and scripted films, the fact is that you usually have creative producers. That's the people that are actually writing the show or movie. They're part of the script process. They're part of every single decision in terms of what the person is wearing, the props, the locations that they're going to, who they hire on the set. Then you also have production people, producers that are really line producers, really more in just dealing with budget and hours and probably safety, etc. And then you also have producers on films that are just, hey, we wanted to give you a role. And the only way you'll take this role is if you get a producer credit. And it's kind of just given as like a thank you so much for being part of this movie. And you get that a lot with like the Kardashian girls or, bigger names when bigger names are attached to certain things. According to Michelle here in the comments, the crew all said Alec was in charge on set. For some reason, I'm not surprised by that at all. Knowing Alec Baldwin's personality, he doesn't seem like a guy that's a bystander in anything he does. And especially if it's like a low budget kind of indie movie in the middle of New Mexico, I guarantee you he probably was pretty in charge on set. Now, being in charge on set is also, there's so many different little pieces there. So was Alec Baldwin specifically in charge of making sure that the ammunition and the guns were safe? Probably not. But in general, it sounds like this is where there's smoke, there's fire, and it wasn't a one little corner of the movie that was unsafe. It seems like it was a general feeling on set that the producers were told multiple times through many, many people in the crew that they were unhappy with the conditions. They weren't getting, treated well. They weren't getting good lodging and food and safety and all of that. It seems like a shit show of a production. And just someone working, I've worked on so many different productions, but most of the things that I've worked on have been very by the book, on sets and union. And I know Lance, my husband, has worked on a multiple productions that are, they range. Some of them are really, really by the book, follow the rules, give you amazing treatment. And some shows he works on is just like, it feels he always, he'll come home and be like, this is a freaking hot mess. And so it ranges on these shows. Now, it's pretty crazy that he's getting that the producer part of his whole trial is getting kind of thrown out. That sucks. It's actually really unfortunate. Now, he's also, just as you guys are saying in this comment, he's also going to, TLC in a reality show. And we're supposed to just like be completely under the impression that Alec and his cute little familia are living this adorable, happy, fun life. And it makes me sick. It makes me sick. And I really do believe that the family of the Helena, the woman who was killed, and probably everyone else that is in that world and knows her or connects with her or is in the DP cinematographer world or just anything like that, they're going to want to die having seeing Alec Baldwin be so cute and cutesy. It's pretty gross. Anyway, we'll continue to follow that story. Also, this reminds me about the story about the traders yesterday, and we'll kind of use this moment to segue into Lindsay Hubbard. So yesterday we talked about Lindsay Hubbard and traders, and apparently she was let go or not considered on traders because of Dorinda's leak. And I told you guys that they would have found out regardless that she's pregnant and they wouldn't have allowed her. And I just want to kind of cover one thing that I did get a comment in the YouTube show saying they would have let her down the traders because so many women are so capable in their first trimester. They can do so much. Like this comment had mentioned something about a woman that she knows or maybe someone in her family that was a firefighter through the first trimester and this and this and that. And I want to be really clear that I have absolutely I think that women are incredibly capable throughout their 9-10 months of pregnancy. I mean, I have to show you guys video and pictures of me in my 9th month of pregnancy with Oliver. I was literally huge because I'm 5 feet tall. So I was I had such a big belly and I'm short. And it was my entire body was this belly. And I was in Michael Blinks, that's Billy Blink's brother of Tybo. I was in Michael Blink's class every single day doing a class called Drenched with a big ass belly next to Magic Johnson. That's the class that I took with P. Diddy a couple times. And the girl who was the choreographer and the P. Diddy Making the Band show. Lori, I can't remember her name. And I was jumping and I was kicking and I was moving and punching. I think women are incredible. And most women, if you're in good shape, you can do these things forever. The problem is, and what I think like needs to be addressed is the fact it's about insurance and it's about covering your ass. And no production and no show out there is ever going to bring someone onto a physical challenge show, especially out of the country, where they have any sort of medical condition. So that will be heart conditions, that will be blood pressure conditions, that will be major, like I said yesterday, epilepsy, fainting spells, pregnancy. These are all absolute, um, you know, like real medical conditions that could actually put you into a bad situation. So it has nothing to do with the fact that like we can't trust pregnant women to be physical at all. I am the opposite to believe that. Now, I need to address something that Mark just said, and you'll be hearing from my attorneys. Mark said I kept Donna off Traders by telling the producers about her unhealthy relationship with egg salad. And for that, Mark, you'll be hearing from my attorney fairly soon. Okay. I just joined the Bethany Frankel, McSweeney, Glanville. Who else is part of that crew? McSweeney, Glanville, Frankel, and probably like one other name. I joined their law firm. You will be hearing from my attorneys. Okay. Now, I got so many comments. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I did an egg salad reel. I made such a good egg salad that I decided to make a video of it, and I posted it, and I was concerned because some of the comments said, "This is giving Bethany," and I thought to myself, "Holy fuck. It really is. Call me Donna Frankel. It's over. It is over." And I didn't mean to be so, wild with my egg salad. It was a little unhinged, and I feel like Bethany's thing is unhinged. Fight me. Fight me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go on over to my Instagram. Basically, the big argument, the big fight here was that I grated the egg instead of chopped it because I don't want a chopped up egg salad. I don't want a mushed egg salad. I wanted a grated egg salad, and it was fantastic. Okay. I stand by my egg salad. In fact, I got it tattooed on my left boob. It says egg salad, grated egg salad for life. And it goes because I have a small chest, it goes all the way from one side around. In fact, some of the letters are overlapping because it's just it's a lot of letters. I didn't plan. Okay. I really want to find this one thing. Speaking of, okay, we'll go back to Bethany. I am dying. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. Lindsay. Lindsay Hubbard is not happy. We're going to get into this tomorrow night, tomorrow at 3 p.m. on the members only. And I will go into detail more about this, about what I'm talking about. But Lindsay Hubbard is not happy because her boyfriend's name has been revealed online. Now, do we want to believe it? I don't know. I do. But it's not been officially announced by Lindsay. Why do people know who he is? Because people are smart. And there's way too many people in the world that have seen Lindsay with this man at weddings, at parties, at walking down the street, at a coffee shop, at a restaurant. People put things together. You cannot get anything by a Bravo fan. Okay. Bravo fans should run the world. And I say that seriously, like maybe we need another person on the ballot for the 2024 American USA president election. Like we need, fine, we've got Biden, fine, we've got Trump, but now we need like a Bravo fan. Honestly, we need someone that, can really do the dirty work. Now, Lindsay's boyfriend, allegedly, according to this article on Starcasm, but this is not just according to this article because it's also according to Reddit and so many other people. Turner Cooke is Lindsay Hubbard's rumored boyfriend and baby daddy. Who is Turner Cooke? Now, as you guys know, Lindsay did post, I'll show you. She did post yesterday a photo, like a collage, a photo dump, as you would, of her um, boyfriend. And it's a bunch of pictures, but she's basically talking about the fact that this is who she's gotten married to, or this is what she's done, sorry, since she got pregnant. And now we know she had a wedding in Mexico right when she found out on March 6th. We started hearing about this, the rumors, according to different Bravo blogs, etc. The end of I didn't mean March, I meant April. At the end of April, April 24th, April 25th. So about 20 days after she actually found out she was pregnant. So my guess is someone in her inner circle told people. I mean, that's my guess. I have more information. We'll talk about that tomorrow. In this photo dump, she talks about all the things she's done in her first trimester. It's weird that Traders is not on that list. I was still looking for it, but here's a wedding in Mexico. Then a few Glamour magazine shoot, Spotlight magazine shoot on April 15th. Then on April 20th, she went to a wedding in Portugal. And this is when she says baby daddy was there to help, which is interesting to say that, like help what? But this is her man. And she put a big heart around his face. Of course, then we continue. We have this gorgeous Watch What Happens Live appearance. Remember how beautiful she looks? And everyone was like, there's no way she's pregnant. Look at her abs. And she literally is like, got the perfect first trimester belly. Because at this point, at the summer reunion taping, she's now 4 weeks after finding out that she's pregnant. And you usually find out when you're pregnant around 4 weeks. So she's probably 2-ish months pregnant here. Something about her opening. She doesn't have a picture there. Then a wedding in Italy. The Kleinfeld, again, launch event, which was recent, the wedding in Colorado. And then, of course, this was her more recent photo that she had where people were starting to say, there is a little bit of a belly in there. Now, that being said, let's talk about the boyfriend. So people are starting to say, like, what is up with covering the boyfriend's face? Why can't we know, And I think, in my opinion, let her do whatever she wants with this guy in terms of the fact that if he doesn't want to be a public figure. But you realize, baby daddy, Turner, allegedly, you realize that you are entering a lifelong commitment, no matter if you guys stay together or not, because when you have a baby with someone, that's pretty much a lifelong commitment with a woman I love Lindsay, but let's be real. Like, this girl is not going to go anywhere off TV anytime soon if it has anything to do with her. Like, this is a public figure. So that would be like any of these big reality stars having a baby and walking on the sidewalk with a stroller, and then you can never be with them. We're obviously all going to know in 5 seconds. But regardless, so I don't know. He doesn't want to be a public figure. Good luck. And also, she wants to be a public figure, and the biggest public figure. She's a big, she wants to be on TV. Lindsay wants to be in the spotlight. So anyway, allegedly, this man is Turner Cooke, and he is apparently he's a vice president of research and investments at a pharmaceutical company. Lindsay does not follow him on social media, according to this article, but he was followed by Gabby until she unfollowed him yesterday. He's a vice president of research and investments at Royalty Pharma, allegedly. She did say that he was a doctor and in finance, so it does kind of check out. He's 35, allegedly. He's a golfer. And according to Lindsay, does not watch reality TV, which makes me happy for her. I'm just going to say something really quick. And I say this with love. And I know I have a lot of guys that are here in my comments. Okay. But if you're out there as a woman and you're single and you're trying to date a guy, if you're a single woman and you're trying to date a man and he tells you that he loves watching Bravo, favorite thing to do, I would question things. I was listening to Giggly Squad, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. And Hannah and Paige were talking about the fact that honestly, they were saying like reality TV is for the girls. It's the girls are the stars. It's for the girls as an audience member. The girls are the main characters. Reality TV is essentially for the girls. And any man that is like obsessed with reality TV, I don't know. I would say it's a red flag. Not any straight single man who's obsessed with like not reality. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about Survivor. I'm not talking about Amazing Race. I'm talking about like Bravo. It's a little concerning. Like obsessed, where they're not even with you, they're single and they're sitting at home watching Bravo. I'm just wondering. Lance will watch shows with me here and there, but I think once you kind of really know how the sauce is made in the reality world, it's just not as interesting to you. He likes Traders, though. We did get really into Traders together. So anyway, he is now obviously been revealed, and what they need to do is they need to in my opinion, they need to kind of now take control of the narrative, because people are going to dig and find his ex-girlfriend from 2012 and find out that he, didn't pay for one time that they went to In-N-Out, and the world is going to go against him in a negative way. So if I were in my world, I believe that he should probably come and just she should just share him with the world. That's my thought. Now, okay, Ryan Bailey, I say to each their own. Ryan Bailey's job is reality TV, though. I think if it's your job, like Steal and Shooter on Brav Bros, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with men that watch reality TV. I think it's interesting if you would be out there dating. Okay, let's put it this way. If you are married to a man or in a relationship with a man and he is watching reality TV with you, I say you won the freaking lottery. How about that? However, if you are out there on, what is it, Hinge or like Raya or whatever, and you meet a man and he is a single man, he doesn't have a girlfriend, he doesn't have best girlfriends that he hangs out with, and he spends Monday through Friday like us watching Bravo. Interesting, right? Just saying. Just saying. Okay, let's keep going. So Lindsay Hubbard's boyfriend is apparently out there. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, what did I want to talk about next? I'm going to get into the Hannah Burner story and everything. But first, before I do that, I want to talk about BetterHelp. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And yesterday we talked about comparison being the thief of joy, according to Tinks. Because Tinks came up with that. Thank you for the comment that said that it was Amanda Hirsch on Not Skinny But Not Fat that said she heard Tinks say that comment. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on the gram, but in reality, they probably don't. It's not probably they don't. The answer is they don't. No one has it fully together. Let's be real. We're all hot messes. That's why we like each other. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. If you've benefited from therapy, you know how important it is to go and talk to people about your issues, but talk to legitimate, people that have licenses, people that this is their career, not just your besties. Sometimes it's important to speak to someone that doesn't know anything of your own personal life, like an outside third party, non-biased, etc. That being said, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Dana, DANA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Dana, DANA for 10% off your first month. Okay, Hannah Berner and Giggly Squad and Paige DeSorbo. I have to just bring up this story because it's going to connect to, how do I want to do this? It's going to connect to Love Island, but I'll come back to Love Island in just a moment. Hannah Berner, number one, her special is out today on Netflix. Today, July 9th. It's called We Ride at Dawn. It's a stand-up special. I saw a couple clips. It looks really funny. I'm definitely going to watch it. I find Hannah to be very funny. I didn't like her on Summer House, as many of you did not, but I like her a lot on Giggly Squad and in general. They had an episode yesterday that they were talking about so many things. Really an incredible episode, but also in one of the conversations, Paige was talking about Love Island, and she mentioned Rob. Rob is our man who we've talked about ad nauseum. He's the man that wears overalls. He's really the hottest guy in the villa, according to me. I don't know if you guys agree. In my opinion, Rob is the hot one because he's like toxic, right? If you like a toxic man, you're going to like Rob. And Paige was saying that in a scene, and this happened probably a week or two ago. There's no time in Love Island. I have no idea if it was yesterday or 7 weeks ago. And so what happened in this case was that Leah was really hurt by Rob because he like started talking to another girl. She was very hurt by it, and he turned it around on her and started to cry and say, "Why didn't you ask me about my feelings? What about me?" Making her to sound like she did something wrong when in reality all she did was be there and he hurt her. And Paige said something so interesting, which to me is so coded, and it really makes me question what is happening behind the scenes over on Summer House. Paige says to Hannah, there is nothing worse than a man who cries to get himself out of situations where he's in trouble, to a man that cries over getting, hurt by, or like if they feel like they're in trouble by their girlfriend, then they start to cry and kind of make it out like they are the victim. And she says to Hannah, he reminds me of someone we know. Can you think of anyone that Paige knows that cries at a drop of a hat every time that they're in trouble? It's Kyle Cooke. Kyle Cooke's go-to on every single season of Summer House is to cry when he feels like Amanda's mad at him. And so, in my opinion, I'm dying to know what happens this upcoming season. But in my opinion, that whole Craig and Kyle drama is bleeding over. It has to be bleeding over in the Summer House. Paige is obviously going to ride for her man, Craig. And I think Paige and Amanda are still really close because I don't think Amanda will ever ride hard for her man, Kyle. But I guarantee you there's going to be some Kyle, Paige, maybe Craig involved drama this season. And when I tell you, I want to be in that house. What I don't want to see happen, and I mentioned this on my stories the other day because there's all this footage being leaked of like when they're going out and stuff. I am begging the Hamptons people, I am begging you all, please do not film the Summer House crew every time you see them. Please do not share with us if you go to one of their house parties and what really is happening. I don't want to know. I want to go into Summer House this season the way that I went into last season, which was no knowledge except for the fact that Carl and Lindsay broke up. I don't want to know anything. And I'm concerned because that's how VPR took us like out of the story, was when we knew too much, when we knew exactly where they were going, when we knew exactly, oh, she cries during this scene because we saw all the paparazzi photos from this. And I am so hoping that the Summer House crew keeps it under lock and key. Speaking of Summer House, did you see who one of the new girls are on Summer House? I have to show you guys this because this is a little. It worries me, and I'll tell you why. I have always felt like Summer House is a show that has always been very, um, how do you say, like, very, down to earth, real people. Of course, they bring in people like Paige, who was already a little bit of an influencer, but in general, most of the people that they bring on that show are just, I would say, normies for the most part, maybe good looking, maybe successful, but fairly normies. But this is one of the new girls on Summer House. And you guys, I'm a little concerned. Tell me who she reminds you of. Okay. This is her. If you're not looking, her name is Lexi Wood. On Instagram, it's at Lexi, LEXIWOOD. She has 1.2 million. Oh, I want to turn the sound off. She has 1.2 million followers. She's clearly a an influencer, I would imagine. It doesn't really say what she does. I have no idea what she does. It just has like her information and her TikTok. So, I mean, I would imagine she's just like she's an influencer, right? Yeah, some of my favorite products. Yeah. So, is anyone concerned that she is like we're bringing in the next Lala Kent into Summer House? I don't want it. I just want it to be like normal people. I love Summer House so much because of, how Amanda is like one of the girls and Sierra, who's absolutely stunning, beautiful, but she doesn't come in with that confidence of like, I am a influencer. I don't want it. I don't want it. Kate is asking, I wonder if she is already friends with Paige. I don't know. I've never seen Paige talk about her personally myself. But I am hoping that this doesn't like change the vibe of Summer House because this girl is clearly, she's a stunner. Okay. Let's go on to my VPR like prediction. Now, I'm going to say something. It's going to ruffle a feather or two. But Rachel Leviss was on her podcast, which I do not listen to. I really want that to be very, very clear. Not because I'm better than anyone, just because I really don't have any interest. But because of people like Vanderpod Recaps, who I love, she listens and takes notes. And Vanderpod Recaps on Instagram broke down what Rachel Leviss just said on her most recent podcast called Raise Your Glass. This is juicy. And essentially, it's in more questions about her lying on the show and more questions about this and that and about what does she want to do and does she want to work with kids and do you regret anything? And Rachel said, yes, I definitely regret certain things, da 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 da. Da. But she also talks about the fact in this episode, she talks about the fact that she does miss a lot of these people. She misses, let me pull up the actual wording that she uses. Um, do you have any friendships? She says, no. She goes, I miss Sheena, hanging out with her and her daughter and talking and even hanging out and having fun. She says, I miss that friendship. I mean, heck, I even miss Lala. I miss Lala's feisty energy and thinking back on some of the interactions, like our most heated moments. I think that there's part of me now that understands Lala a lot more after experiencing this entire scandal, and I have an appreciation for Lala, even Katie. There was a moment for Katie and I back when James brought us all to Palm Springs for our surprise engagement, and Katie and I had a good moment in the pool. I had one good moment with Katie, and that could have been a good friendship too, but I did not prioritize those friendships. I think I miss everyone except for James. Okay. This is my prediction. You ready? I think that VPR brings Rachel back to the show next season. as a last-ditch effort to save that sinking ship of a show. Ariana is not going to do Vanderpump Rules. I mean, if I'm wrong, then I guess I'm wrong. But like, I cannot imagine, and I really, really hope she doesn't. Ariana, the ship has sailed on the Vanderpump Rules. She can't do it. She's doing so much better off the show. Katie, I don't think that they're going to bring her back. I don't know why. I feel like, in a weird way, I feel like Katie is also, there's no need for her on the show anymore. It's kind of like she's moved on too from all of these people. I think that they keep the Tom and Tom. If they do the show again, they're going to keep Tom and Tom. They're going to keep Sheena and Lala. And they're going to bring back Raquel and new people. Just have to say. Okay, Michelle says Ariana might be a friend of if Katie stays, but I don't believe that Katie. I mean, maybe Katie will stay for the paycheck, but like, who is Katie with on that show if not Ariana? She doesn't have her people, and she doesn't want to be on that show. She doesn't want like any of those people. But if I were Alex Baskin, if I were Evolution, if I were any of these production companies behind the show, and I was like, Vanderpump Rules needs some sort of a reboot because we are failing like in every possible way and we don't have Ariana. We need something to make the show watchable. I would throw so much damn money towards Rachel right now. I would literally offer so much money for her to come back. I think she is the only way that the show can come back and be watched. And I don't like her. I'm not saying it because I want to watch her. I'm saying that she will bring the drama. And yes, you keep James and Allie on the show because the drama will be there, immediate drama. Maddie says, you're a casting expert. Does Ariana have the chops to last in the biz? She does stints. How do you feel for real? Well, I didn't see her in Chicago, but I heard she did a really nice job. And I don't think they would have brought her back. I mean, maybe they would have brought her back just for the financial aspect because she's so popular. But Ariana is so beautiful, in my opinion. I think she's so beautiful. And I think if she takes the right kinds of like classes and she works with the right kinds of coaches, if she gets an acting role, I bet she can pull it off. I can see her totally pulling off a little rom-com cute role. I don't think she'll ever have to go back to reality TV after this other than hosting a show. I think she ends up on a scripted show of some sort. Okay, so that is my prediction about Vanderpump Rules, and I would like to hear anything in the comments. Oh, Bay Poodle says, what about the interview with Bethany? Did that not ruin her chances of coming back? I think everything she has said and done could potentially ruin her chances of coming back, but I do believe that Vanderpump Rules would overlook it because of how important, financial success is. And honestly, if they bring on just newbies, I don't know how many of us are going to want to watch. If you call it Vanderpump Rules, I think you can bring on newbies and call it, do a new show called Sexy Unique Restaurant. And it's just the new cast at SUR. But I don't believe that the new people at, I don't think like Vanderpump Rules comes back with all new people. I don't think we'll be interested. Speaking of, have we talked about Peter? Please tell me you guys saw Peter Madrigal's Instagram reel a few weeks ago. I don't think we've talked about this. Peter Madrigal is doing some sort of a reality network. It's very confusing. And when I tell you, I saw this reel and I was like, is this a joke? What is going on? And sure enough, it's not a joke. Let's watch it together. This is Peter's announcement of a new reality network that he has created called the Reality Network. Everyone ready?
Madrigal. You may have seen me on reality TV as I may have graced your screens in the past. But just like all of you, I too am a fan of reality television, from the fun to the entertaining to the dramatic side of it. But most important, the business aspect. So I'm here to give life to those shows that deserve to be on a network for all to see. And that, as the president and founder, I am pleased to give you your one-stop shop for all reality TV, Reality Network, your premier destination for all reality television. Remember, Real life, real drama, real TV. Only on the Reality Network.
Huh? I'm sorry, what? He's the founder and CEO of the Reality Network. Okay, let's see what the Reality Network is. It says your number one destination for reality television, real life, real drama, real TV on Roku. Okay, cool. I guess they have a Sarah Fraser show. Catching Cheaters, The World's Most Unique Adventures, This House, TV. Listen, as the founder and CEO of the Reality Network, I mean, call me. Call me, Peter. When there's a deal. Yes, I can get my own cooking show. Wait, this is a great idea. It should be called Donna Cooks. Egg salad. Just egg salad. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's talk about Love Island. Please tell me you guys watched Love Island last night. OMG. Love Island is so damn good, but I haven't really covered it on this show. I covered it on my Patreon on Sunday, so I covered up until last week. But this week, the guys have now come back to the villa after Casa Amor. And I'm really just going to focus on a couple of the stories, but I'm going to say something. It may not be the most popular thing ever, but some of these girls are highly dramatic. Okay. And I love the girls on Love Island. No one I love more than Leah. I love Leah. Leah is our little Calabasas Persian princess. She is so funny. Her words, her statements are so funny. She ended up kind of getting in trouble on last night's episode because she said something about what Cordell said, but I guess Cordell never said it and he called her out on it. And she was like, I don't know. In her interview, she goes, do I have fucking Alzheimer's? Like, I don't know what people are telling me. I don't remember. It's so good. But the point is that, or kind of the general gist, is that the guys have now left Casa Amor and have come back to the villa, some alone because they decided they wanted to stay loyal to their other girls back at the villa, and some have come with their new girls. So here is the lineup, and I'll go through it really fast. Leah has decided to stay loyal to Miguel, but Miguel came back with, what's her name? Something with an S. I'm not going to get the Casa Amor girls right. Okay. I'm just not going to get their names right. But he comes back with a girl. Kenny comes back with a girl, and Janae stayed loyal to Kenny, and she was devastated, like to the point where I was concerned and I was wondering to myself, Janae, I like you, but Sierra is her name. But let's kind of calm down with your anger at Kenny. Like, Kenny and Janae hooked up 2 days before Casa Amor, and the way Janae is acting is as if Kenny ended their 10-year marriage. I mean, it was a little over the top. Then we have, of course, we have Liv that has remained with one of the new guys. She's the only one that picked one of the new guys in the villa. Kane, I believe his name is. I'm telling you, the new people, I don't have room in my brain for any of that. Thank you. Miguel and Sierra, Kenny, and Catherine. Kenny came back with Catherine. Then in the more kind of interesting stories or interesting couples, we have Rob, who comes back with Daniela. Who's Daniela? You might ask. Daniela is the girl who Aaron, our British Aaron, ended up totally vibing with at Casa Amor, because Aaron and Kaylor and Serena and Cordell were really the couples in this house. Aaron and Kaylor have been together now since essentially the beginning of the show. And so have Serena and Cordell. But Aaron and Kaylor went really heavy, really fast. They fell in love. They were so obsessed with each other. Everything was great. And then Serena and Cordell was more of a slow burn. She friend zoned him. She wasn't really into him that much. Then she was, when she realized he was going to move on to someone else. And then she finally really let down her wall. So that we have two strong couples going when the guys went into Casa Amor. And both of these guys ended up hooking up with other girls in Casa Amor. Cordell basically became a new boyfriend to this girl named, am I going to say it wrong? Daya. And she's really cute, but they like really, really immediately Cordell was like, I have boundaries. I'm not gonna. And then his tongue was in this girl's mouth. He was so into this girl over on Casa Amor, and he decides to bring her back. Serena, meanwhile, was very loyal the entire time, and she decided to stay single because she had seen a video of Cordell, futzing around with Daya, and um she decided to stay single. But when Cordell comes in with that girl, she loses her damn mind. And meanwhile, with Aaron and Kaylor, he decides to stay single. Or sorry, he decides to stay loyal to Kaylor, but she saw the video, so she decides to stay single. And they end up seeing each other. And he's all excited because he thinks that she stayed loyal, but ended up being single. And Rob, which is Aaron's really close friend, he's the overalls man, the toxic one that cries. He's the one that comes back with Daniela, who incidentally was the one that was hooking up with his bro, Aaron. Did I make that clear? Do we need a pie chart? Like, I feel like we need some sort of a flow chart. Okay, I'm going to go real quick through my thoughts. Janae and Kenny, I love Kenny. Okay, Kenny showed me such a sweet heart moment when he was so sad at how he hurt Janae. Because what happened was most of these guys came back from Casa Amor with their girls and recognized pretty fast right off the bat, like, oh, my feelings are stronger for who was home, which is really interesting. Like all these guys got really just blown away by the new fresh meat over in Casa Amor. And then they came back and they're like, oh, I'm not really into Casa Amor girls. I like these girls. Thank you, Megan, for becoming a new member. See you tomorrow on members only. So then what am I missing here? Because Danny is saying something. Oh, okay. So then Kenny showed me a sweet side. I can't remember if it was last night or on Sunday night, and he feels really bad for hurting Janae. And it looks to me like they're kind of going to restart things up, and he's going to probably recouple with her. We'll see. Leah and Miguel also had a similar situation, but Leah is so unserious. She doesn't take life seriously. She doesn't get that offended or affected. And she was like, okay, whatever. Like he wants to, he wants to try something out with this new girl. I still have feelings for him. We'll see what happens. And sure enough, Miguel last night says to Leah, like, you're a bad man. By the way, if any man ever says to me, Donna, you're a bad man in that accent, I'm going to say that's not okay. Like, I'm not. But Leah thought it was so funny and they were very cute. I ship Leah and Miguel. I know some of you guys are not really happy about the Miguel situation. Trent says Miguel sucks, bad vibe. And maybe he does. But I just like Leah. I want her to get a win. Okay. Let's talk about Aaron and Kaylor. Aaron clearly, done fucked up when he went over to Casa Amor. He hooked up with the new girl, Daniela. He was very into her. He cuddled her. Apparently, he was kissing her all over her body. Apparently, he asked her if she could shower with him. He was very into her on those 2-3 days over at Casa Amor. When he comes back and talks to Kaylor, she's so hurt and she's just crying for days while he was gone and going like this, patting under her eyes. I mean, her bags are the size of houses under her eyes for the amount of tears that this girl has cried over Aaron in just the last few days. And Aaron comes back and she goes, and he immediately, goes to her and apologizes. And within one conversation, she basically forgives him. Everyone is very online. People are very upset with Kaylor because they feel like she immediately forgave Aaron and didn't really give him a hard time knowing what we saw. But you guys have to remember that in this moment, Kayla has only seen a portion of what happened at Casa Amor. She saw just that little video when Aaron is massaging Danielle's feet and says, I want to kiss you. We are heading into a hurricane, bigger than a category 5 on movie night tonight. Because really what's happening is more happened between Daniela and Aaron. These two were all over each other from the beginning of Casa Amor, basically, until he felt guilty when he knew that she had seen the video, probably. And he ended things the night before he came home to Kaylor. Kaylor is going to lose her damn mind over what she sees. And this is when Aaron really should have just come back and said to Kaylor, this is exactly what happened. Because hello, my friend, you're on a TV show. Everything's being filmed. What do you think you're going to like get away with here? It reminds me of Summer House when Amanda says to Carl, remember when Carl had that conversation with his parents where his parents were like, I don't think you should get married. Amanda's like, Carl, don't you think she's going to see it? Like it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And meanwhile, Aaron and Daniela have this kind of like unspoken rule. Maybe they talked about this, I don't know, where they came back into the villa and they're like, everything was very kosher. Like we just talked and like we did cuddle one night and we like we're flirty, but he really likes you. Oh, you're so screwed. And Kaylor's like, Daniela, I need you to be honest with me. You cannot forget things like this. This is really important to me. And Daniela's like, I know, I really should. We're done. We're done. Aaron is going to get really, really in trouble with Kaylor after movie night, and she'll probably forgive him by Wednesday. Who knows? Meanwhile, let's talk Serena and Cordell, and I really need to know from you guys. I feel this is going to be an unpopular opinion. For girl power, Serena did right because she held strong against Cordell. She was pissed at him. He also did come back from Casa Amor with another girl. So I get that. At least with Aaron and Cordell, and I keep saying Aaron and Cordell, Aaron and Kaylor, at least with Aaron and Kaylor, he came back single. But Cordell came back with a new girl. And Serena is giving him such a hard time. Yelling at him, calling him names, storming, walking. I was wondering last night watching yesterday's episode when Serena, when they're all dressed up for the night out and she finds out from Daya, everything that happened and what the guys are saying and everyone's meddling. Serena's walking back and forth. I wanted Serena's step count last night. I wanted to know if she was wearing a Fitbit. Like I need to know how many calories she burned on just last night's dinner party. She was walking, angry. I'm very, very proud of her for holding strong. And at the same time, I felt like she was way too hard on Cordell. Don't at me. Well, actually at me. Like, tell me what you believe. Serena was very, very closed off to moving fast with Cordell. In fact, more than being closed off to moving fast with Cordell, she friend zoned him. She wasn't into him. Remember? She wasn't into him early days. And then when he hooked up with some of the new bombshells, all of a sudden now she was into him. Now she was like, wait, I only want what I can't have. I want him. But then when they did the dance night, when they were both dancing on the other side of the walls and the wall opens up, remember? She left him there to dance alone. This poor guy really was probably a little confused about her feelings. And only way at the end, right before he went to Casa Amor, did she open up and show him a little bit more affection, attention, love, all the words of affirmation, etc., etc. So when he went to Casa Amor and sees another beautiful girl who's like immediately, I want you, I like you, it makes so much sense that he immediately was like, oh, this feels good to be wanted. I don't want to be the chaser. I want to be chased. I don't blame Cordell. Serena was so mad at him. Mad at him as if he went and had, a baby while he was gone. This is Love Island. Guys, what? Okay, so he hooked up with another girl. He had developed feelings for another girl, but he was confused. He comes and brings her breakfast. His chest got covered in avocado toast. She is over the top, in my opinion. Now, I also think Kayla's over the top. Kayla's just over the top in a different way. They're both over the top in very different ways, but they're both treating this. I mean, Kayla, I think, has a little bit more of a right because she and Aaron have been really together from day one, like almost saying, I love you. But the Serena thing was, it felt too much. And what's shocking about it was the guys were telling Cordell, is this the kind of woman you want to end up with? Like, if this is how she acts now, what is she going to do if she's your wife and she's mad at you? Maybe possible is like a red flag. But Cordell's like, I don't know. I like it. I want her to, like, the more mad she got at Cordell, the more this man went running after her. And meanwhile, Daya, poor Daya, she's just left in the dust now because Cordell is too scared to hurt her feelings. And he's like, I'm still trying to figure it out. No, you're not, Cordell. You have picked Serena. You have picked Serena, and we have to move on from this. But the girls, just like Michelle said, are 100 times more serious about it than the guys. These girls are walking down the aisle. They're planning their wedding. And the guys are like, I love being on Love Island. This is kind of fun. This is going to be a shit show tonight on movie night. One of you guys commented earlier that every time you hear the words movie night, it's like date night. So tonight on movie night, Brittany shows up. Wouldn't it be so funny if tonight on movie night, Brittany and Jack show up just because Ariana like invited them? She's like, you guys want to join the most toxic night on Love Island? What if on movie night, all they do is watch like Bethany eating crab with her fingers? What if movie night ends up being, Carl's Loverboy content? Like, I'm curious. Dea. Dea is how you say it. Dea. Anyway, I am very interested in movie night. We'll talk about it tomorrow. It's going to be good. Now, my friend said, is it too late for me to get into Love Island? I think it's too late. There's about 20 some episodes. And I said, no, you are so lucky. Because what I would do to be able to binge Love Island, I mean, come on, you have tomorrow night with no show. You can watch it all by tomorrow night and then you're golden. I would start immediately right now today. It's going to be a good one on movie night. I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. Can't wait for our members only tomorrow, but that will be after our live show. Thank you so much. Mark says thanks to both Donna and my bun. They say the higher the bun, the closer to God. And since this is a religious show, peace be with you. Blessed be the fruit. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow on Daily Dose of Donna. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.